If you're familiar with the SR platform,
God's platform,
you'll be familiar that from factory they run just a little bit hot, and our really hot Australian weather doesn't help with it either. So today we're going to get two birds with one, what's the saying?
Hit two birds.
Hit two birds with one stone. We're going to fix the leaky radiator Jamie has and upgrade to a nice Mishimoto radiator.
Be as cool as a penguin. All right, we are kicking things off with fixing my broken 180. It's not actually that broken. With, as you can see here, the cooling system. Now, if you watched our original video where we unveiled the 180sx to the channel, replacing my AMG, you'll know that it came with an aftermarket radiator and thermo fans. Unfortunately, when we were having a look around the car a bit more and having it stored in my garage, we noticed that there was 2 puddles of coolant right where the radiator is. So the radiator is leaking, so we are in need of replacing it. Now, I could have just grabbed something cheap, an OEM radiator, something like that, but I am building this with the future in mind, and cooling is crucial when it comes to SR20. So I've gone with a dual core Mishimoto radiator, as well as thermo fans and shroud, all from Mishimoto. Awesome setup. It's going to take care of the cooling, no problem at all, especially when we start throwing a bit more power at it. And we've got some new coolant for the system as once we're finished. So sit back and relax and watch us get coolant all over ourselves. Yeah, hopefully we get it in. I mean, we're going to get it in because otherwise we won't make the video. Yeah, and if you haven't seen already, we upgraded Morgan's S15 radiator, which is almost identical to the 180. The 180 just looks better. So anyway, sit back and relax and watch us upgrade the 180's cooling system. All right, so we're first going to start off, as I just realized that there's a bumper bracket not... Oh, okay, and then that's the intercooler bracket is being held on by 1 bolt. Excellent. So what we're going to do is drain the coolant from the radiator. It's just a giant ass bolt on this side of the radiator. Drain all the coolant out, then we can pull it out, chuck the new one in, and yeah, go from there.
So because we are doing some wiring later on for the fan shroud, it's best to disconnect the battery, or in this case, just flick the isolator switch before we get onto the wiring later on.
So we took the old radiator out. It actually was fairly easy, very straightforward because it's an aftermarket radio with thermo fans. There's tons of room to work with. We took the old rubber bungs off. We're going to put these on our new radiator, and then we're going to mount the fan shroud and thermo fans to the new radiator. jump it back in and yeah, fill it with coolant. So we've now mounted the Thermo fans to the Mishimoto radiator. We've also put the rubber bungs in the bottom of the radiator, and now all there is to do is to pop it in the car, wire it up, and fingers crossed we didn't do anything wrong.
So as you can tell, the camera decided not to focus on me doing all the wiring, but pretty much in wiring up the new Thermo fans, we've just piggybacked off the previous wiring for the old fans, just because it's already tidy, the wiring for it, and there's also a switch inside, so we kind of wanted to still use that switch as well, and then at a later date, when James gets a nice ECU, we'll hook it into that, but for now, we want to use the switch. So we're just piggybacking off the original wiring and just splicing the new wires into it.
So we've put in the new radiator, we've wired up the fans. Before we start tucking our wiring, making things neat and filling it with coolant, we're going to test to make sure that the fans actually work and that they're pulling air, not pushing air, because if you're pushing air, then you just be pushing air out of the engine bay. So Morgan, flicker on. Fans, come on. All right, and off. And suck my hand in the engine bay, you can feel that it's pulling air, sucking air through the radiator. So that's all good. All that is to do now is neaten up, make the wiring look a bit nicer, fill it with coolant and bleed the system. So we mixed up the coolant. We went with a 50-50 mix, so 50% coolant and 50% distilled water. We went with this more so because of the boiling point of the water is at about 109, 110 degrees Celsius. It does get quite hot in Australia, so we do want to make sure that the coolant isn't boiling over. All that there is to do now is pour it in, fill up the system, then bleed it.
Alrighty, so it's in there and it's working great. Not leaking like the previous one. Thermo fans are working.
Yeah, they scared us a little bit.
Just a little bit, yeah.
We spliced into the wiring using the exact same wiring, just a different fan setup, and we're like, what the hell? Fans aren't turning off.
Yeah, there's a switch on the inside and it wasn't doing anything.
And then we found out that I'm an idiot. The fans will stay on when the AC is on. So we had the heater on to open up the heater core so we could bleed the system of air, and obviously with that running, the fans are gonna stay on anyway.
Yes.
So, yes, but that's the first thing, tick. That's one leak gone, out of here. No more, fingers crossed, coolant leaks from a faulty radiator. Now we just gotta tackle some other leaks.
Yeah, all the other leaks.
All the other leaks, which I think there's only 2 more.
Oil leaks?
There's oil from the remain seal. And
gearbox out.
There'll be a gearbox coming, people. And power steering.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've only got 2, oh actually there's 3. Rear shock is leaking.
Oh yeah, that's just a new shock.
That's pretty easy. But yeah, so we've got multiple leaks to fix. We've got some safety equipment that doesn't work. The seatbelt and the horn.
Yeah. They're kind of crucial.
Very crucial, especially, obviously I'm not driving this on the street because it's illegal at the moment until I fix those issues.
Yep.
Yes, anyway, so that is it for this episode. It works, it stays cool, it doesn't leak, and it looks really good in the engine bay.
It does,
I love new shiny parts in an engine bay. But if you enjoyed this video, make sure you head down, hit that like button, comment below. Would you have chosen and gone with Mishimoto? Morgan is of the opinion that Koyo Rad or nothing. If money was no object, PWR all the way. If it's good enough for Formula One, it's good enough for my 180. Yeah. But I don't want to spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on a radiator. So yeah, let us know below what one would you get. Everyone's just going to go, oh, PWR, I would have bought that one. Yeah. And most importantly, hit that subscribe button. I think it's 60% of you guys aren't subscribed. Shame on you. Hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 1,000. Come on. Yeah. Anyway, thanks very much for watching this video. We'll see you in the next video or next episode of fixing my well, it's actually not rusty, but shitty 180, where we tackle more leaks. Yep. And little bits of things that are just annoying. But the car, it's good. It's coming nice. Back. It's coming back. Yeah, we're fixed. We've done a service. Yeah, well, if you saw the last video, it's nice and it just fresh. Yeah. When we turned it on, it sounded so healthy. Yeah, you can tell you're reviving it. Yes. You know. From where it was rattly. It was making noises. It was leaking everything everywhere. It's still kind of leaking at the moment, just not as bad. But we're slowly getting there. We're getting there. We're reviving it. I think if this car sat any longer, it would have been a lot harder. The leaks would have been worse. As you started using it more, it would have created even more leaks, more problems. So I think we caught it just at the right time. Yep. But thanks, peeps, for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode of Project B.